Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back to our regular community. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently trading at 47,806, down 0.68%. Ethereum 3573, down 0.64%. In this episode, we'll cover the KS early warning system to detect stock market and crypto crashes. We can see the S&P 500 is up 32% over the past 12 months. Gold is down 10%. Bitcoin is up 338%. Looking to global indexes, we can see China came down, as did South Africa, Brazil, Canada. We can see also America went down just slightly. Mexico came up. Ireland was on a storm. Australia came up. India, Sweden, France, and Italy, as well as the Czech Republic. In the US market, the best performing sectors were consumer discretionary, real estate, and information technology. The worst performing, materials, energy, and utilities. Looking at the weekly case percentage change, we can see across the globe, cases came down by 8%, but there's still a lot every week. We can see the US went slightly up, the UK, India went down, Iran went down, Malaysia, Brazil, and a variety of other countries. This is a really difficult rule to apply to the markets and also in life. Deal with problems when they occur, not before. Looking at the US major market indexes, we can see the Nasdaq slightly came up. Bitcoin went down a little. The S&P 500 went down a little. We can see that fear was increasing through the inverse VIX. We can see the Dow Jones decreased a little and the Russell 2000 also decreased a little. One thing to bear in mind, the quadruple witching is coming up on the 17th of September. That just means that there's going to be a lot of volatility potentially in the market. For the traditional stock markets, the VIX represents the amount of fear inside the market. We can see the amount of fear inside the market is decreasing towards the quadruple witching event, which is occurring on the 17th of September. On the third Friday of March, June, September, and December, we get options expiration monthly and futures expiration quarterly, stock options, single stock futures, stock index futures, and stock index options all expiring together. That's that 4 expirations coming through. That causes a lot of volatility in the market. It looks like we've seen quite a bit of volatility, but it's decreasing now. It's also important to be aware of weekend action. With the options expiration on Friday, the weekend action could be a little bit problematic. Just keep this in mind. Investors can put their money into stocks, into bonds, into crypto, into precious metals, into real estate, into businesses. There's so many places people can put money. It's really important to understand the bond market is larger than the stock market, and crypto is just tiny. It's like a little baby. If we had 10% of stock value, and don't forget this is in late 2020, and 10% of bond value piling into crypto would be twice as big as gold by market capitalization. It's really important to note that bonds registered through the TLT, this blue line, before a crash, bond prices tend to rally exponentially up. This is really important to understand. Bond yields go inversely to bond prices, so they basically fall off a cliff in what is leading up to in terms of a crash. When we see this exponential blow off in bonds, it is a flight to safety. It's basically a transference from the stock market and all other markets into the bond market. This is a really important sign for us to look out for. Let's compare Bitcoin to treasury bonds. The TLT, what I was mentioning just then, has overcome a degree of resistance. It's pushing up through it. We can see the 10 to 20 year treasury bonds, 7 to 10 years, 3 to 7, and 1 to 3. They're all basically moving up at the moment. There has been some retracement in the last session. That is a really good thing. If we had a continued uptick, we could be a little bit concerned. We need to look further into the TLT to understand the technicals. Since August of 2020, the bond prices have been in a downward trend. We can see that we've had a bit of a trend reversal here, but how powerful actually is that reversal? What I'm going to do is just put the candles on for you. When we look, for example, at the area, we can see here that there's a degree of support coming up. We're interested to look at this top area. How powerful is this potential breakout? Is it real or is it false? Looking at the candles, what do we see? A very big rejection, very big, but then we can see a collapse. It's having a lot of problems with this particular line. We can see bond prices were finding support, came over this resistance, tried to turn it to support and failed. It's now under resistance here and under resistance here. It's pretty much set up for a continued downtrend, but we must keep our eye on it. We know that bond prices and bond yields move inversely to each other. We can see the bond yields coming down, finding a level of support and coming up. But what we notice is the 30-year Treasury bond yield, that TYX, it's starting to go down. It's starting to break down from this support level. We expect, because the inverse relationship exists between bond prices and bond yields, for this to be short-lived, but we must keep our eye on it. We can also see the 10-year bond yield basically at support. Comparing Bitcoin to the DXY, the US dollar currency index, here in green, we can see the DXY has broken through a level of resistance. It also has a level of support underneath it. It's increasing upwards, as would be expected with the technicals. The Nasdaq 100 is also increasing upwards. We can see too, Bitcoin is also increasing. Let's have a look at Bitcoin compared with the metals and the inverted DXY. We can see here in yellow, Bitcoin increasing. We can see copper increasing. It had a bit of a dip recently, but it's increasing. We notice the inverse DXY coming up, yet gold and silver absolutely tanked in the previous session. We can also see palladium came up a little and platinum reduced slightly. Let's look more into gold and silver and see if we can't figure out from a technical perspective what is actually going on here. If we look back, for example, around the start of August 2020, gold has been in a downtrend, quite a substantial one. We found a level of support that didn't hold. You can see the overall trend is down. We're coming up to another level of support at basically 1745. We would expect gold to bounce from that level, probably try to attack the 1765 mark. Let's see what happens with gold. We've had a couple of fake breakouts. I think this is what has caught people by surprise. I'd like to share Rule 17 with you. Question required certainty. This is a really important rule. I've been in the markets for over 3 decades. What I've learned is to trust the chart and definitely do not trust the news. For example, with so much money printing, gold should be a store of value to protect against inflation and so many other things. What we're seeing is gold decreasing in price. What we do notice is the strong relationship between the DXY inversed and gold and silver. a way to avoid losses, and that's really what it's all about in trading and investing. A way to avoid losses is just look at the chart. What is the chart doing? Understand the technicals of the chart and listen to the news with one eye closed, one ear closed, and half your brain turned off. This is a really good thing. Powerful interests can infiltrate the news and spread what they want to spread. The charts don't lie. A lot of people say that in a crash, gold is a fantastic place to be, and it can be. One thing to bear in mind, in going back to the 13th of February 2020, leading up to the 13th of March 2020 crash, gold did increase, then it dropped, then it increased, and then it plummeted back to before its earlier price. This is really important to understand with gold. It's not as safe as a lot of people would think. I know that because I've been trading gold for many, many years. I think gold is a beautiful metal and a fantastic vehicle, but crypto is replacing it. If you're in gold currently and don't have any exposure to crypto, I would suggest a small investment in Bitcoin. It will be life-changing. The crypto market is an incredible market. I've been in the markets for many, many decades. It's the most incredible market I've ever seen in my life. Comparing Bitcoin to inflation expectations, we can see the 5-year and 10-year break-even inflation rate were decreasing, now increasing. We can see that there's a positive association between inflation and Bitcoin, but we don't say that's causality. We don't push any particular association. We just let price be price and follow price from a technical perspective. When comparing Bitcoin to the airlines and transportation indexes, we can see the transport indexes were coming down. They've basically bottomed around the 20th of July, but now we see them coming down to retest that bottom. We need to see what is going on with the transport indexes. We've seen a small bounce in the transportation index's price, which is really good. We can see the airline index starting to come up, the NASDAQ transportation index starting to recover, the NASDAQ North American Transportation Index recovering slightly, the Dow Jones Transportation Average improving, and the iShares US Transportation ETF also improving. We'll keep our eye on this. This is quite an important measure. Comparing Bitcoin to oil, Brent and crude, we can see Brent and crude oil has been on a rally, Bitcoin just dipping a little. When we get into collapses and problematic events, oil tends to just literally fall off a cliff. We're not seeing that right now. Let's have a look through the crypto stocks and crypto ETFs. Comparing Bitcoin to public companies with Bitcoin exposure over the last 90 days, we can see Hut 8 Mining Corporation out in front, up 142.67%. We can see Bitcoin is the next leader, up 33%, followed by BTBT Bit Digital, up 31.47%, followed by Marathon Digital, Bitfarms Limited, Galaxy Digital, Hive Blockchain, Silvergate Capital Corporation, Argo Blockchain, Coinbase Global, MicroStrategy, ADE, the Bitcoin Group SE, Riot Blockchain, and in last place, Voyager Digital. Comparing Bitcoin to Bitcoin ETFs over the past 90 days, we see BitW, Bitwise 10 Crypto out in front, plus 49.02%. Next place, GDLC Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, up 48.31%. BTCQ, the 3IQ CoinShares Bitcoin ETF, up 37.62%, followed by Bitcoin ETF, EBIT, 9-point Bitcoin ETF, BitC, CI Galaxy Bitcoin ETF, BTCX.B, Purpose Bitcoin ETF, BTCC.B, the Bitcoin Fund Canada, QBTC, then Bitcoin. Underneath Bitcoin, 21XB, 21 shares Bitcoin ETP, CoinShares Physical Bitcoin, BitC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, and in last place, the Osprey Bitcoin Trust, OBTC. Let's have a quick look at Bitcoin's technical analysis. Bitcoin is currently trading at 47,735. We've seen an increase up to the resistance line at 48,593. That was rejected. We did mention in a previous episode that we had a lot of good uptick in price. A natural wave down would be expected and anticipated. It's just part of normal price action. Price is always moving in a wave. That's the natural thing with markets. Never all up, never all down. It's all steps and waves in between. We can see the support levels below: 47,206, 46,566, 45,830, 45,268, and a key one at 45,000. We have a couple of key technical resistance levels to overcome around the $50,000 mark and also 52,163 when we're basically trading at 52,579. There's literally not anything in the road of Bitcoin going up and increasing by large orders of magnitude. However, please be aware of this Friday, 17th of September in the US, the quadruple witching. That could throw some turbulence into the market and present itself as a knife catching opportunity. Our community knows what that is very, very well. It's the ability to buy at levels of support much lower than the current price. That lowers your average buy price and dramatically increases your profit. In the next episode, I'll go through Bitcoin's technicals in more detail and contextualize things through the KS model. I'd like to thank the very generous and kind community members that bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks, and a special call out to Badger, thank you so much my friend, and Jans, and Gary, and Paul, thank you so much everyone. I very much appreciate the love and support of our community. Thank you everyone. I hope you found the content useful. I put this early warning system together because so many people in the community have sleepless nights about the market crashing. There are telltale signals that give us some insight into what could be happening. I share them with you because I want you to sleep better and have less stress in your life. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from, and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.